Tonight, we have a legend from the hip hop scene, New York City, a legend as far as activism and awareness. We were talking about AIDS awareness or activist work like the senator is doing. When we're talking about hip hop and developing skills and where these legends were developing skills, Mad Wednesdays was the spot to be. We went to EO Dub. That was the generation, I guess, moving on. But Mad Wednesdays, you hear like on
Fathered
Reasonable Doubt, the 22-2 skit that you hear around that. That's Maria Davis. She's here with us in the building, and I know she has a plethora of the most interesting stories about your favorite artists before they were who they were. And we're gonna get to him tonight. Maria, welcome. Was you mad when I said rest in peace?
No, my kids was mad.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I apologize.
They was like, who is this guy? We gonna look, no, my son know who you were. But my daughter's like, oh no, we mad. They gotta apologize. My mother's not dead. My mother's not dead. Call
no, she's not. Yes,
no,
you're right.
No, she's here on the show.
Who said that? It's not a clone. It's not a clone.
It was me. It was me. No, it was MECC.
No, it wasn't.
It was me.
That was you.
It was me. Who was it?
He trying.
Nori?
It was Nori? It was Nori.
Yeah.
I didn't say it.
It's okay,
I eat that.
Somebody took that clip and they sent it to me.
Right.
Thank you, Chastity. Wasn't us.
What's the name of that
Drink Champs?
That chick. I was like, chick, Lord.
No, it wasn't.
That was him.
It wasn't.
That was Noah. That was him saying that, like trying to remember her name and
he was trying to
referring
remember
to her in the
my
wrong
name.
way.
Right.
But he was like, what's the name of that chick? I was like, I'm a chick now? Okay.
Well, in his defense, you get super drunk on his show.
I know.
Yeah, and how.
You know, and that was a good hour in, so we were all pretty much wasted at that
Got
point.
that one there.
Yeah. MECC was the only coherent person in the room.
MECC wasn't drinking up there. He was like, no, I'm good.
But somebody shouted it from the back. They said Maria Davis. And,
Yeah.
And I guess.
Because your name rings bells. We all know, and people who don't know you know they're supposed to know you. You know, your influence goes super deep to the point where when it comes back around, people who got it from you don't know who they got it from. And that's one of the pitfalls of being a living legend.
Yeah.
That's what happens. You just get influenced and you're tied in a different way to different people. But it's all so significant. Everybody is trying to remember who's that woman that we got this thing from. And sometimes the name that escapes, but the influence, the fingerprint is still.
Yeah, it's still there.
EO Dub that we went to, I think it could be called like the first child of Mad Wednesdays. And it was the longest running open mic like to date.
Right.
It stuck around, but Mad Wednesdays fathered so
Many other scenes in New York
and
City.
we came from legit. That's where I met him the first time ever in life.
Paying $10, getting on that line, getting there early, getting a good spot on the list. You ain't want to be the opener
That's right,
when nobody
that's
was
right.
there. You wanted to be like a little past the middle where everybody's in the room.
So training camp and the showcase?
Yeah, it was out of Pyramid.
Okay, at the same time. Okay, it was at
No,
the
no. The same place, different days.
Tuesdays and Sundays.
Okay.
EO Dub was every Sunday. Training camp was every Tuesday.
But this ain't about them.
That's right.
This is about Mad Wednesdays. Tell us about how it started.
Well, it started because this woman named Shirley Brooks that was at Sweetwater's was convinced that I should have my own weekly show. And I kept telling her, no, girl, that's too much responsibility. People are too fickle. And then I thought about it. And I actually witnessed going to the record companies, artist tapes in the drawer and back. And I was like, wow, that's somebody's art is in the drawer. And so I had connections with the street teams. Those was my people. And whole lot of OJ, different people, and they would get the groups, and I would pair the group, whatever record company group that was, and I would get the young people that were in my community, Queens, Brooklyn, wherever, and I would book them on the show, so they had an opportunity for the record companies to see
See
them.
him. Oh, so they
As
you would.
it should be.
Wow. So you would have the A&Rs in the building. So
Russell
this.
Simmons, Andre Harrell.
Wow.
I had a lot of people that in the beginning it was a struggle, as most things are.
Right.
But that was the mission that God put on my heart. So Mad Wednesdays, you know, people were like, it's a showcase, but it was more than a showcase. It was my connection to my activism, which I found out later, my connected to my illness. So Mad Wednesdays is what really kept me going, you know, other than my children.
Wow.
But Mad Wednesdays.
Did anybody get signed off of the show?
Oh God.
Yeah.
How many?
Right. How
Yeah.
many?
Many.
Yeah, Jay-Z, Mike Epps. I did Life Jennings. But Life Jennings was already kind of signed, but his first album, I would go and I was one of those people that if I believed in your song,
Right.
and you know, back then they gave you little promotional CDs. They don't even do that now.
Right.
And I would get like boxes of promotional CDs and I would hand them out at Mad Wednesdays for whatever artist that came through my show. I was like the promotion behind the promotion that they did too.
Dope.
And so it's not only record deals, people got movie deals, Cool Bubba Ice, the comedian, because I also did comedians. So I partnered up with Bob Sumner. I would go to Bob and Bob would give me all. So I started off with Bill Bellamy. Then I was the first one to have Bernie Mac in New York City.
Wow. Rest in peace.
Mike Epps was a regular there. Hamburger, Talent, Capone. I had an opportunity to, you know, because of Bob, work with Def Comedy Jams. All the comedians that would do there, they would do on my show too. And Tina Graham.
What were some of the struggles that you referenced a little bit in starting Mad Wednesdays?
Money.
Money.
That's always money. And there was a particular girl, I'm not going to name her,
Oh man.
that everybody gave all the big shows to and gave all the promotional work. And so the ones that looked out for me was the A&R and the promotion people. But they gave this one particular girl, light skin.
Come on, we can't do that. We can't.
It ain't a light skin thing. Come
Come
on now.
on.
Chastity.
Only in the winter.
Oh,
Only in the winter it's a light skin thing.
And it was only her and I. So I was the African American and she was the white girl. And so, you know, the white girl had the influence. You know, she had the father with the power and, you know, Stressica, that's what they called her.
Jessica.
Yeah. And she had and they gave her all the parties. And they just, so I would go and pray, and Mad Wednesdays was like a birthing kind of thing. It wasn't for her, because she, you know, she worked with Flex, Paul Knotts, you know, she had all of the heavy players, and I was Maria Davis. But the funniest thing was they would all go to her parties, but then they would come to my parties and eat, because I would feed them, all the street people. Street team didn't get fed or nothing. They got a little bit of crumbs, but they would come to my Auntie Maria, and they would come and I would feed them, because I always made sure I had food, whether it was the food from the restaurant or I had a woman, very good friend of mine, Miss Rebecca King. She used to make the macaroni and cheese and the wings and stuff, but we always made sure we had food, because to me, food was a
Connects
distraction.
Right.
I always had balloons. Balloons made people feel good. And to this day, when I do Mad Wednesdays at the Shrine, but people don't even understand. Dang, every time I come here, there's balloons. Yes, the balloons is a connection to the happiness. And for people, when they come in, they know it's a celebration, not a place for you to come and act a fool.
Right.
So the balloons, the food, and, you know, making sure, I mean, just had a deep passion for young people that wanted to succeed in life, you know. And I use nice places. So, you know, I use Sweetwater's, Country Club, all of the places
These
that
are
were
like
real
Midtown.
nice.
These are like Midtown, Uptown.
Yes.
Like the areas in Manhattan where you don't want to do nothing wrong, because they're coming in 5 seconds. 5 seconds.
But not only that, because I wanted the hip hop artists to know you don't have to be in the dark in a dungeon all the time.
Right.
Come to where the light is at.
Come with the
Sweetwater's
light,
had the
fancy.
tablecloths and the forks and the knives on the table, because I wanted the young hip hop artists to experience something different than a hole in the wall.
More class.
More class.
Upgrade.
Be a chameleon. You could be a thug downtown, but when you come uptown and you with the other people, you should be able to shift.
Behaviors.
Don't always have to be about cussing and telling somebody off, you know, because that's what they expect of us. It should be about being a chameleon, showing people the greatness and the power that we come from. Our ancestors were great. And you should be great too.
Now see, I love that, because what we battle now are youth who feel as if they should not have to subscribe to any of that. This is who I am. I'ma be me. I'm being real. I'm being genuine. This is my true, authentic self. And I'm always saying, but is that the only side of yourself?
But you gotta understand, Mac. You kind of put the explanation out there early. You said the youth. Most of these kids haven't lived enough life to figure out who they actually are yet. That's part of, and I agree with you. Yeah.
But the reason why I always fire back at that, the reason why I don't leave it alone, is because knowing that you haven't discovered all of you yet, you're making moves to cut off who you could be.
That's right.
By deciding that this is all you are. You dig what I mean?
Yeah.
You might be more than this. Styles P walks around telling everybody, gangster and a gentleman. You have no idea what your gentleman may look like because you're so married to being a gangster.
Right.
Biggest criminals in the world that I've ever seen in my life don't hang out on corners. They wear suits.
They sure don't.
They don't stick people up. They pull they lobby. You know what I mean? Like
right.
they do different shit. They're not out here selling on a corner.
Right.
They pull scams and take everybody's retirement fund in one night and rob everybody without a gun.
Well, if you're selling drugs as part of an image, you should probably stop.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Then there's that.
Because is there any money out here? There ain't no money out here. I grew up in a time with Nicky Bonds and them. They opened cases of money. I saw cases of money. Nobody doing money like that.
It's hot for trapper turn smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rappers. Got bars I can hang with the backpackers. Trap star, I don't hang with the backpackers. I'm in the hood with the work you heard. Making fiends leave earth you heard. Got your baby mama thirst you heard. Feel the flow, nigga, throw it in reverse. This the wave you need to surf you heard.